Hello, and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle. Me, your host, Joshua Smith. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. This is recorded previously. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. I'm probably in the chat hanging out with you right now, chopping it up from Disney World, but I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time that this was recorded as a makeup episode because at the end or at the beginning of the week, I was supposed to have our guest on, and we got some audio issues, but we got them all figured out. So I'm very excited to have him back on the show. But let's check out some sponsors. Of course, we have toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle, where you can get this great custom Sundown Break the Cycle dark camo hoodie for a 10% discount by using BTC at checkout, or you can join the Patreon subscribe star, become a member of this here YouTube channel under all of my videos by hitting the join link, and you can get in the private Discord server where you can get all of Top Lobster's new designs up to 2 weeks early at like a 30% discount. Really pays for itself if you're one of the lower member tiers on my channels. It's good stuff, I promise. His gear is always awesome, and it's super quality. All the shirts and hoodies that I have are lasting really well. The prints last really well after being washed, so good stuff. And of course, executive producers of the show, anthemplanning.com, for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today, see what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. They're doing a wonderful job that the government has historically sucked at, much cheaper and much more efficiently. Seriously, if you're a business owner or you're looking to get into becoming a business owner, check out Anthem Planning today. I guarantee you they have a service they can offer you that is going to help make your life much easier. And it's free to check out the website. And Amy Lepore is an amazing person, so go check him out. I promise you will not be disappointed. Guys, we've got a great show for you today. Like I said, it's a makeup show because we couldn't get it done live the other night. But he is the host of Liberty Lockdown, rising star in the movement, and all around absolute badass. He is Mr. Clint from Liberty Lockdown. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, Josh. Very sorry for boomering you on the tech issues on Monday. I just moved from San Diego to Florida to Miami area, and I am scrambling to get my life put back together. So.
No, I get it, man. I get it. And you were like kind of driving around trying to figure out where you wanted to move. So it wasn't even like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like you had some huge plan, right?
No, I still don't have a plan. I've been homeless for about 3 months now, just staying with family and friends and hotels and shit like that. Drove from San Diego all through the nation to Miami. Then I flew home for my brother's wedding, and then a couple weeks later I flew back out here to stay in Miami for a few months. And then I'll be at Tom Woods next week, and then I'm gonna go to Tennessee. I'm gonna go to the Ozarks in Missouri, and I'm just trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to find freedom in an unfree world, as Harry Brown might say.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to find right now. You know what's funny about that? This is coming out. Let's see. So you talked about Tom Woods. This is coming out 2 days before Tom Woods, the Tom Woods 2000. I'll also be there. I'll finally get to give you the big bear hug. We'll get to measure size, see who's bigger. You know what I mean? In real
you're
life.
Definitely bigger. I can tell.
I'm a big dude, man. A lot of people don't understand that. They like think I'm some small guy. I don't know why. And then I show up, I'm like 6'2", 240. I'm like, what's up, dude? You know?
I'm 6'1", 205. So it's rare that I run into a guy who's significantly larger than me. So this will be nice.
Sure.
Especially in the libertarian scene. I'm like a giant.
Yeah, so. Everybody's a little tiny people. Actually, I just this guy online just said that the Liberty movement looks like a bunch of incels and drama kids trying to recreate YouTubers and not doing a good job at it or some shit. And I was like, first of all, bitch, I have 7 kids. So I'm not an incel, okay? You can't call me an incel.
Very much not an incel.
Yeah, absolutely. I got 7 kids. I'm not an incel. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of drama in my house, but I got 7 kids. Fuck you, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
And for the record, I am also not an incel, but you can pretend whatever helps you sleep at night. If you want to think that I'm some virgin that lives with my parents, that's fine too.
Yeah. And you're independently wealthy. We know a lot of people know that you've really done well for yourself. You know a lot about real estate, which is a good thing. But let's talk about tyranny, bro, because you love to talk about tyranny. I love to talk about tyranny. You have actually left one of, if not the most tyrannistic state in the country. It's also the same place that I left. You went to a little warmer climate than I did. But tell me about the move and why you did it, man.
Well, I did it because I was born and raised in San Diego, and I obviously loved it. I think that it's arguably the greatest place on earth, but it exists under a dictator in Gavin Newsom. And when the recall happened, a lot of people in California held on to hope that he would be ousted and that we would get our freedoms back. And I knew that we're way too far down the path to totalitarianism for them to allow for that guy to be removed, even if there was popular will, which I don't even know if there was. I don't know if that election's legit or not. But ultimately, I'm trying to get myself, as far away from the front lines to the gulag as possible. I mean, that's really how I view this. I know it sounds overly dramatic, but I think that in the next 10 years, we're going to have really, really hard times. And if you are in a blue state and you're a political dissident in a blue state, you are up against it, and odds are stacked against you. So that's my focus right now, is getting myself in a position where I can be kind of a stalwart, like a solid rock amongst the rocky seas for my family, that are still left behind in the blue states, and bring them along with me someday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had people tell me that I was sorry, I'm having a little camera issue here. I think I'm getting okay. I got to figure it out. I don't know why it does this shit. I think it's my fake battery. I have like a dummy battery that plugs in, and I think it's going bad. So
it's fine, dude. It makes me feel better about Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had people call me a coward for leaving California and not fighting. I've had people, tell me, well, if you love your state so much and you love your family and you love all this stuff, then why would you leave the state you're from, born and raised in? It's like, dude, at some point, bro, you know what I mean? Like I fought. I've been to countless, county supervisor meetings. I've been to countless city council meetings. I've lobbied against governors. I've done all kinds of shit in that state, dude. I've tried to get people to join the liberty movement. I campaigned for Ron Paul in 2008 and then 2012 at the fucking Occupy movement. Like, you don't know what I've done. I've done a lot of shit for a lot of fucking years, and that state just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And in fact, Newsom, I'm from right outside of San Francisco, right? Like I can make it into the city on a 20-30 minute BART ride, right? The Bay Area Rapid Transit, and I loved that city. It was my favorite city in California. Like, I've loved we used to go out to San Francisco every weekend and skateboard. There was always some kind of festival going on out there. They used to have X Games and Vans Warped Tour and all this shit on the piers. It was a blast. And the city was pretty clean. They took really good care of the city. It's always had a homeless problem. San Francisco is one of those cities because you can get there really easy on the Bay Area Transit, and there's a lot of wealth in that city, and people are constantly all over the place. So the homeless are naturally attracted there. There's also a lot of services for homeless people there. You know what I mean? It's one of those cities that just has a lot of services. So of course there's always been a homeless problem, but it's never been what it is now. And the reason it is what it is now is because they voted in Gavin Newsom as the mayor of San Francisco. And if you followed along, he's the reason there's shit all over the streets. He's the reason that heroin needles are everywhere and they're not being cleaned up. He's the reason that this shit's happening. The city got like 5 times more violent under his rule, and in California, what they do is they, instead of firing the person who's done bad jobs, they fail them upwards, right? And so we watched Gavin Newsom destroy this beautiful city, this once awesome, fun city to hang out in. And instead of being like, you're never going to have any power in the state again, we made him the most powerful man in the state. And it was the same with Jerry Brown before that. Jerry, of course, for all of his faults, he was kind of fiscally conservative. When he left office, Governor Moonbeam, when he left office, he had a large surplus. There was large surplus. They weren't spending recklessly like Newsom does. But he also had to step down as governor. I think it was in the 80s. He had been the governor once before. He actually had to step down because of the bad shit he was doing. And then fast forward, 15 years later, they're electing him back into office again. And it's like, are you guys fucking idiot? How stupid do you have to be, man?
Well, this is the problem, and this is why you and I have both fled California. Is it's like, it's not that I'm not willing to fight. If I thought I had people that would fight alongside me, I would.
Right.
In California, I don't. And the lockdowns were when I knew that my home had been lost.
Yeah.
I couldn't get even a small protest against the lockdowns early on. I mean, it was like I went to one, and it was probably a dozen people in Encinitas, California, and I was like, okay, we're screwed. Like,
right.
If I can't get a couple hundred people out here, especially the business owners, like that was the thing that blew my mind, is like the business owners accepted it. And credit to the government, they were smart. They game planned this shit, and they said, okay, we're gonna have PPP loans, and we're gonna just we're gonna increase unemployment insurance so that the pain of these lockdowns that people ought to be feeling they're not going to feel it as harshly, and they're not going to have to work. So they're going to just feel like, well, I can still survive and I don't have to work. All right, I'll accept it. Well, you can accept it, but ultimately this is a precedent that means that you no longer, have private property rights. You no longer have control over your own livelihood. You are now a ward of the state. And I can't live amongst people that want that for themselves. It's completely the antithesis of my existence, of my being. And if that's the people of California, if that's their mantra, if that's what they believe in, then I need to go be with people that believe what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you, man. And that's why I moved to the middle of the country. The people in the middle of the country don't give a shit about what the federal government's doing. You know what I mean? They really care about the state government. And we just had the beginning of legislative season here in Iowa. All the legislators showed up to the Capitol and were greeted by, I think, 10 different freedom groups. Hundreds and hundreds of people showed up to protest and rally and lobby the legislative body of the state to fight against the mandates for the vaccine, to fight against the lockdowns, to fight against all that stuff. And I actually got a couple of the state reps on camera. They gave an interview to me. One of them obviously was Jeff Shipley, who I'm friends with. Great guy, really cool guy, very out there, and a lot of fun. And one of them was a state senator. And he's actually a medical malpractice lawyer. That's what he does for his job. So it was really cool to get a perspective from him. And he was talking about the legislation that he's putting through and proposing to, if you do lose your job, one of the bills he's putting forward, if you do lose your job because of the vaccine stuff, they will not deny you unemployment, which is cool. You know what I mean? And I've been very open about this. I've been very, very open about this. I don't care what libertarians say to me. If they fire me because I refuse to take this vaccine mandate, I'm going to stay home with my children and live off of unemployment from California big tech fucks. Like that's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's hilarious to me that people would argue that that's an unprincipled stance. The reason that we have to fight to get unemployment insurance for the people that will be laid off for vaccine mandates is because if they have the financial imperative, if they have that lever to pull on people, it's going to make it so that very, very few people are willing to refuse to comply.
Correct.
And that's their intent. I mean, it's crystal clear. When else do they ever say to someone, "Oh, you lost your job, tough luck"? Especially the leftists. They're always like, we have to look out for the homeless and the poor and the this and the that. And now all of a sudden it's pull yourself up from your bootstraps, anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, they're using our principles against us. They're using self-starterism and entrepreneurialism and taking care of yourself. They don't believe in any of that shit.
Of course.
So you know exactly what this is.
Well,
they're using it as leverage.
And the difference here, right, is like, when we say it's because, the majority of the time we're telling people who are either too lazy or don't want to work, right?
Right.
They're telling it to people who are being put out of their jobs because they don't want to comply with a federal government decree, and are worried, that maybe this thing isn't right for them, and they're making their own healthcare decisions. And it's like they're like, well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And we're like, well, motherfucker, we can't. You know what I mean?
You just stole my bootstraps, bro.
Yeah, you literally took the bootstraps away from me. I've been working since I was fucking 9 years old, dude. 9 years old. Almost 30 years I have been working for myself. I started my paper routes when I was 9. I had 2 paper routes. I was literally on the paper, the cover of the paper, for having 2 paper routes when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old. And
I mean, you were a father of 4 by the time you were 12.
By the time I was 13, I had 8. Yeah, absolutely. No, and it's true, man. Like I've been busting my ass. There was times I took off, and there was a while I thought I was going to be a rock star, and I was playing music and playing shows all the time, and eating very little and not having a lot of money because I thought I was going to be a rock star. It didn't work out, and I went back into the workforce. You know what I mean? But I've always worked. I've always busted my ass, and now you're trying to take, exactly. You're trying to take my bootstraps from me and leave me with nothing because I don't want to comply. I don't want to submit to your crazy ass fucking power trip, and that's all it is.
Yep, that's exactly right. And I just emphasize this point too. A lot of people think that I'm an anti-vaxxer because I'm taking such a hard stand here. I am actually not. I just want to be really clear about that. I think that there have been vaccines in the past that are tremendously beneficial for humanity as a whole. I don't know about this one, but it's not even the point. The point is I have medical privacy and bodily autonomy, and you cannot forcibly inject me, and you cannot coerce me to do something against my will. period. That's it. That's the red line. You want to fucking do this to me? The answer is no. The answer is no. And even if I wanted the vaccine, I wouldn't tell you motherfuckers that I got it. I wouldn't, because I'm not going to allow you to have this leverage over me for the rest of my life. Because if I allow you to put anything in my body against my will, then you can put anything in my body against my will.
Right.
And this is a precedent that cannot be allowed for. We have allowed our liberty to slip too far. This is a red line. We have to win this fight. I keep saying how important it is. People think I'm being hyperbolic. I am not. We should have never allowed for lockdowns. That should have been a red line. This has to be a red line. If they can, like, it's different. When they told us what we couldn't put in our body with the war on drugs and things like that, that was wrong. That should have been a red line. Now they want to tell us what we have to put in our bodies. That is an absolute red line. If you don't understand that, you aren't my ally. You aren't a libertarian. You aren't anything that I can relate to at all. This is a war that's being declared on freedom-loving people. If you don't understand that, what more do you have to see? Do you have to see the fucking camp set up right next to your house? Like, good Lord.
No, and that's the truth. I mean, we got people pushing to not give health care to the unvaxxed. We have federal government that is pushing to monitor all bank accounts with $600 or more in them. Okay, we have. I mean, it's just one thing after another. The FBI is setting up shop at the fucking school board meetings, dude. How much more do you have to see to understand that this isn't about private property anymore? This isn't about health anymore. This is about the government power playing, pulling as much power away from the people as they possibly can to set up shop in an authoritarian state. I'm telling you right now, every single step they are taking makes us more and more like Australia. I don't care if we have guns. Americans have been too lazy to use them against the state. Okay? That's the truth. And I know it hurts a lot of you right-wingers' feelings when I say this, but we are going to turn into Australia, guns or not, if we continue to let these things slide like they're nothing. Period.
Exactly. And this is a real nail in the coffin of that argument. People don't know this, but the gun buyback in Australia in 96, they actually have more guns today than they did in 1995 in Australia. So your whole thesis that the people of Australia have been disarmed is false. They actually have more guns than they did before the gun buyback program was implemented. So it's not about not having them. It's about being unwilling to use them. Right. It's really that simple.
Well, and when the 3D printers went burr, I mean, anybody can have guns now. I mean, anybody. You literally cannot stop the guns anymore. It's over. It's over.
And God knows how many guns there are. I mean, it's a ton.
I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people just on my Twitter feed making AR-15s, making Glocks, just on my Twitter feed alone. You think that's a huge sample portion of the United States? It's not. It's a very small portion of people, and I've seen hundreds of people just on my Twitter feed making them. You want to know how many ghost guns are out there? It's in the hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah, I would say globally it's in the millions.
In the millions. Yeah, globally for sure it's in the millions. The United States, I'd say hundreds and maybe several 100,000, pushing 1 million. And we're talking there's already 600 million registered guns in this country. Registered 600 million. That's or is it 600 or it's a lot. So I know it's at least.
I'm pretty sure it's that.
I know it's at least 2 for every single living person in the United States. At least 2. Okay, way more than Vietnam had.
Exactly. The only problem is we don't have the backing of either the Kremlin or the CIA.
Sure.
I think that's the only reason that we have.
Oh yeah, they hate us.
They do. It's really disappointing because if you're going to label me a terrorist, at least historically, you guys were willing to give us Toyota trucks and arm us. Now they're not even doing that. It's like I'm a terrorist, but I don't get any of the goodies. Like, wait.
Yeah, motherfucker, I want a Toyota Helix with a 50 cal gun mount on the back. Like right now, my family needs it. Okay, for our survival.
The time is now. Yeah, I need 15 Helixes to slow the spread.
Shit, dude. I just want a Toyota Helix. I've never even seen one outside of the wartime.
I know, me either.
Fuck, where are they? You can't even buy them. like a complete exclusive government contract for those bad boys.
All I know is that they are very reliable because they have lasted in Afghanistan and Syria and all over the Middle East. And those are harsh climates, so that must be a hell of a vehicle.
Well, and they're these people are driving through the desert for hours and hours and hours every day just to get to the next city. And yeah, I mean, you're talking some of those Toyota Helixes are got to be 30 years old.
Oh yeah,
and they're still going.
and the munitions too. I mean, that whatever they're giving them, we need to get in on that gravy train, because I'm feeling left out. I'm feeling deprived. Come on, CIA.
Me too, man. So what do you think about the left calling to remove healthcare from the unvaccinated? There's already some healthcare insurance providers that have started instituting a fee, like a $200 a month fee for people who are unvaccinated. I mean, what do you think about how do we fight back about this? Do we got to create our own? I was actually the other day, unironically, looking in at how to start a healthcare insurance company. It's not that fucking hard, dude. It's really not that hard. You got to
takes a lot of capital, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the capital for the insurance and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because you have to have your own insurances, obviously, that and obviously you'll need employees, stuff like that. But it's really not that hard. There's a very, very brief insurance class you have to go to and graduate from. Just not much different than like getting your real estate license. You know what I mean?
But wouldn't you also need healthcare providers that are willing to do it?
That are willing to take your insurance.
Correct. Well, no, that, but also the unvaccinated patients, because isn't that what we're really?
But that's something that you will state in your insurance company, right? Like we cover unvaccinated. But here's the thing: there's so many healthcare providers and professionals that are going out of work right now that if we could find somebody with enough capital to start their own healthcare system, we could, and this is, obviously this is a huge, crazy idea, but it can be fucking done. There's enough money out there and enough people behind this shit to do it. And
it'll happen in one of the enclaves, say New Hampshire or Idaho or something like that. I bet that is our future. I just want to go back to your original question about what do I think about the left doing this. A lot of people will point at it and say that it's hypocrisy. I want to dissuade you from that perspective. This isn't hypocrisy. They don't believe in healthcare for you. They believe in healthcare for people that think and live like them. So when they say healthcare is a human right, they don't think you're human. That's what they're telling you.
Right.
And it's been that way for a long time, but now it's fucking crystal clear. These people aren't hypocrites. They're monsters. They think you don't deserve to live. I mean, could it be any more evident? You have people that are being turned away from, life-saving medical care, transplants and things like that. What does that mean to you? It means they don't care if you live or die. In fact, they probably would prefer the latter. So this is. I mean, in one way, I'm glad that the mask has come off fully and people understand what they're really up against. But at the same time, I feel for people. I get that, like, no one wants to think that you live amongst people that would rather see you dead. Like, that's a horrifying thing, thing to realize and a terrible way to feel. But it's been the truth for a long time, and now you know it.
Yeah, and it's funny because there used to be a time when I get mad at my friends for saying communists aren't people, and now I'm like, you know what? Maybe they aren't fucking people. They don't think I'm.
Well, if they don't think we are, yeah.
I mean, they're setting the stage for that, dude. You know what I mean? And that's 100%. The truth. That's the truth.
100%.
There's so many people like me that used to be like, well, unity, that's fine. The communists can have their own commune. They're, as long as they leave us alone. There's so many people like me that used to think like that do no longer think like that. We no longer think like that. We are now at the point where you are our enemy. You are actively declaring war against me through on my family, on my health, on my livelihood. You are actively declaring war against everything that my life stands for at this point.
Yes.
There's no
every principle we hold dear. Yeah. They want to attack it from all angles. I mean, it is an omnipresent threat, and I can't believe that they are so brazen, so confident that they can do this to us. And, in that regard, I blame us. I blame freedom-loving people for not having shown a backbone and a spine and a willingness to defend themselves way, way long ago.
Yep.
But now we don't have a choice. There's no longer like negotiations to be had. When you were telling me I can't work, my kids can't go to school without wearing a mask. I can't get medical care. Like, if you're telling me all of these things, there is no negotiation. We're way past negotiation. You have declared me your enemy, a mortal one at that. And the only option you're giving me is to comply with one of the most egregious, I mean, in my lifetime, the most egregious, infringements on my liberty I could imagine, telling me what I have to put in my body to function as, to not be excommunicated from society. There's no negotiation. The answer is fuck you tell me where we're going to meet to fight. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's what I said. I went from, this last 2 years has taken me from, I want to make you understand to get the fuck out of my way or else. That's literally what it said. That's what the last two years have done to me. I posted that on Twitter yesterday. Literally, that's what that's what it did to me. It used to be, I want to make you understand. I want to help you understand. I want to teach you economics. I want to teach you, about the dangers of central planning. I want to teach you about this stuff. And now it's get the fuck out of my way or else. That's literally where we're at, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to teach you anymore. I don't have, you don't want to learn.
The people that are fighting the vaccine mandates and I'm fine still teaching you about economics because you haven't declared me your enemy.
Right.
The people that want to make it so that I'm excommunicated from society, that we have a medical caste system, medical apartheid. Nothing. I don't even have words for you. Like I have fingers and triggers. That's about it. That's all I got for you. So
that's where we're at, man, and that's where we're going.
It's wild.
The guy I was wearing my the Tree of Liberty Must Be Watered shirt at the Capitol the other day. Obviously, I wanted to make a statement, and a couple of the state legislators walked out and looked at me and they're going, "Oh, nice shirt, man." I was like, "Yep." And he's like, "Seems like we're kind of headed that direction, huh? It's probably going to have to happen." I said, I 100% believe it's coming, brother." And I'm walking into the Capitol like this with my camera and shit, and he, you can see the look on his face. Like the legislators know, dude. Like they know.
Oh yeah,
they know what they're doing.
And the legislators in your area know. In Florida, they probably know. In California, they don't know. They think that they have a monopoly on the use of violence, and I'm not sure that they're wrong. I mean, in California, maybe they're right.
Yeah.
But a lot of politicians are feeling the heat, and the reason that they're turning up this kind of panopticon terrorist, turning the war on terror inward, is because they inward. Now I sound like I'm on Tower Gang.
Oh, geez, wrong podcast, buddy.
But the reason they're turning it inward is because they realize that those that are being alienated from society are a justifiable risk to them, and they should be. I mean, that is. If you are told, that you are no longer allowed to do anything that you're accustomed to, you should be violently, enraged. So I think that's why they're increasing their stranglehold, and this is why the media is portraying parents. I just want to really emphasize that mothers that are concerned with mask mandates, vaccine mandates, and the curriculum that's being taught to their child are being looked at by the FBI as terrorists.
We're calling the FBI on soccer moms, bro.
I mean, wow. And, to Spike Cohen's point, we have to radicalize the soccer moms. White women must be co-opted, as he says. Well, it's happening. We're going to find out if he's right, though, if they actually have, the political clout or the will to get some shit changed. Because if not, I don't know what happens.
I'd like to talk to the manager of the FBI. It's coming, dude. Coming. I can't wait for the day that, like, 10,000 soccer moms march up to the FBI headquarters. I can't wait, dude. I hope that happens. God, please listen. If you're a soccer mom, white lady, what else are we looking? If somebody has ever called you Karen before, please start building this protest soon because I want to watch it. I will support it. It's the one time I'll support the Karens.
If we don't get 1 million Karen march by the end of the year, we're in serious trouble.
I got a couple of Karens that follow me on Twitter that are actually really cool Karens. So I just want to let you know.
Of course.
We get it. There's really cool Karens out there. Obviously, Karen Ann is a good friend of mine. I love her to death. But it's also, hers is spelled differently. That's what makes her cool. She's got a Y. Yeah, exactly, man. So what's your time in Florida been like, man? What's it feel like? Is it a different feeling than California? Obviously, the it's more humid. We know that, and the people are a little darker, if you can believe that too. But what's the overall feeling been like down in that area?
Honestly, it's been a little bit of a disappointment. I see too many masks. A lot of the buildings require masks. I don't go into them. So that's been a frustration for me because, as a Californian, all we get told is, Lord Emperor DeSantis has made this, heaven on earth. Turns out that much of the state is that way, but, the South Beach and the Miami area is not so much. So that's been upsetting. It's beautiful. You can see the water behind me back there. It's an amazing place. I think that, I could totally see myself living here if it weren't for Corona madness. But ultimately, I don't think this is going to be my long-term home. I'm going to continue to travel around and look for that enclave of liberty that I keep dreaming of. So Tennessee, I'm going to hit the Ozarks in Missouri and try and find a spot that really speaks to my soul, that makes me feel like, okay, this is home. I think that just because of the masks, I can't do it. Like if you're gonna, it's just such a decay on the culture, on human interaction. Like I just can't be around masks anymore.
Bro, I'm telling you, I've been all over this country. Okay, even during the Corona stuff, and I live in the one place where I never see masks. There's no mandates. They're not throwing people out of their jobs. It's like the one place, dude, and it sucks.
What city are you in?
I'm right outside of Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay,
and it's it's the middle of the country. I mean, I don't think you can get any more Midwest than Iowa. I really don't think you can. Maybe Minnesota, but they're even like still locking down and masking and mandating and
it's terrible in Minnesota. There's no competition there. Yeah, I mean, I'll look there too. It's just like I'm still trying to find my Southern California weather.
Yeah, you won't find that here, buddy.
I know. Well, this is why the panhandle of Florida may end up being my spot too.
Sure. The summers here are great though. It's hot and humid here in the summer, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the winter is brutal.
Though Bishop is lobbying me hard to hit the panhandle. I already hung out with him one night out there, and I love the people here. In Miami, it's very aggressive. There's tons of New York and California transplants, so it's like everyone lays on the horn. It's it's fine. I'm accustomed to it, but I think if I'm planning for the apocalypse, you don't want to be around short-tempered people.
No.
Like you
definitely don't want to be around Californians and New Yorkans, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, man. There's no traffic here. It's great, dude. It's just there's no ocean. There's no mountains. It's rough. It's really rough, dude. That's the rough part for me. And then the winter. I mean, you gotta buy a snow blower. You gotta know how to drive in the snow. You're getting inches and inches of snow weekly. I mean, it's brutal, dude.
Yeah, I've never lived with that. And Jeremy Kaufman's lobbying me hard for
New Hampshire,
obviously. And I'm gonna go spend a couple weeks there too, probably during Pork Fest and before I make my ultimate decision. Yeah. So who knows?
New Hampshire's cool. It's not as cold in New Hampshire. We get really cold.
Oh, it's not?
No. They get snow and cold, but we get like -30 weather, dude.
Woo! Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's brutal, dude. Like brutal. Like you walk outside and your nose hairs freeze. Like if you boil water in a pot and go throw it outside, it'll freeze in the air. It'll turn into steam. It's gone.
Yeah, that sounds like a place I can't live.
It's brutal, dude. I never dealt with it before, and it is. I mean, it's like 3-4 months of winter straight, dude. It's pretty gnarly. But it's 1/5 the cost of living that the Bay Area was. 1/5, dude. You could buy a fucking mansion here, dude, easily. Huge farm, 5 acres, all that shit. So we found a 5-acre plot with a farmhouse, a barn, and like a utility storage for like tractors and shit, and the whole thing with 5 acres, dude. Everything $500,000, dude.
Incredible.
The whole thing.
Well, and honestly, like I'm still kind of waiting for the real estate market to level out before I buy something new. But I'm gonna check out a lot of places, man. Sure. So like people keep asking me like where you go, where you at, and I'm like, dude, just trust me. I'll tell you once I've actually made a decision. I am miles away from making a decision. I still feel like I'm going to travel for probably another 6 months. Yeah,
you gotta. I'm telling you though, man, you're a city boy like I am, dude. I know, I get it. Like I feel it.
I know.
Find somewhere you can buy land, dude. That's the important thing, man. It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to do in places like where we're from, dude. You can't buy fucking land in California anymore, dude. You know what I mean? You can't buy a farm in California. Are you kidding me? They stay in families for generations because they know nobody can buy a farm there anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, and with water costs and water shortages, I'm not sure you want to own land there.
Exactly. Our water bill here for 9 people every single month in a 2,500 square foot 4-bedroom home is like under $100 a month, dude.
That's crazy. My water bill for a single family was over $400 a month. Oh, yeah. My electric bill was usually $550. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, our electric bill here is never over like $160 ever for the month.
Jesus.
And we have 9 people, and these kids leave lights on all the time. They leave their TVs on all the time. Like the AC, we ran the AC in the entire summer, dude, and we never went over $200.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it, dude. I was trying to explain this to my daughter, because her little friend is 18 and she's moving out of the house, right? And she's like, they're like getting a 3-bedroom apartment. Not my daughter, but my daughter's friend and 2 other friends, 3-bedroom apartment. They're renting it together. Their equal share is $200 and something a month per kid, right? And I'm like, where I'm from, you could never do that. In fact, I was renting a bedroom for $1,200 a month where I'm from. Now I have a 4-bedroom, 2,500 square foot house on a 1/4 acre for $1,700 a month.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I know. It's way
nuts,
cheaper
bro.
in pretty much anywhere else. So
yeah, but you got other great options too. Tennessee, there's lots of cheap land in Tennessee too, and Missouri as well. Missouri's a lot like Iowa, but it's like Missouri's like the one place that goes like as you're driving down through Missouri from Iowa, it's like Midwest, right? And then you get a little bit past Kansas City, and it turns into the South. It's really a weird state, dude. It's so like Midwestern and Southern at the same time. It's very, and they have the best barbecue in the whole world, in my opinion.
I know it's totally ridiculous, but I saw these Trump rallies on the Ozarks in Missouri, and I was like, these seem like my people. Like all these scantily clad women wearing MAGA hats and shit. And I was like, look, I didn't even vote for Trump either time, but like I can rock with MAGA people. Like y'all are fun. I just want people that are like, fuck the government, guns in the air type folks. And if I have to party with some MAGA folks, that's fine.
I'll take a MAGA folk over a Joe Biden folk any day, dude. That's for sure.
Man.
For sure.
Yeah, I can barely even speak to Biden's supporters.
Except for here in Iowa. I'll tell you, there's a couple of Biden supporters in my neighborhood that are actually really cool people, dude. Like I fucking, you know what I mean? Iowa's a weird place though.
Yeah. I think those are the anomaly. Most of the Biden supporters are like fucking bloodthirsty animals at this point. Yeah. But I'm a little bit black-pilled, so. Yeah,
I'm getting pretty black-pilled these days too, but I'm still working with the party, but I haven't been on the LNC list for, I think I've been on there twice in the last 2 weeks, and I only went on there because I'm like, yo, you just took $30,000 from people to make a video, and you haven't even put the video out yet? What the fuck? And then they put the video out, and I'm like, really, dude? That's it?
I need to rant about this for a second.
Please do.
That video is so milquetoast, so middle of the road, and it's like they're finally saying the right things 18 months deep into this shit.
Right.
But they're not saying it with any passion. It's like a political ad when it should be exactly what Salmon's put out, which was like just awesome. Right. Like fire. Like every time I watch his clip, I get chills at the end.
Whose clip?
Isn't it Tommy Salmons that put that out?
No, Dan Smots from The System Is Down.
Dan Smots.
He's the guy that comes on my conspiracy couch shows.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Dan Smots killed it.
Yeah.
And he did that in 24 hours with no budget. And then we give them 30 grand and they give us that piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't deserve our money. You don't deserve our support. If you can't understand like the danger that we're in and the passion that needs to be conveyed, why are you in it? Why are you in a position of power? Like, right. I know this is why the takeover is happening, but good God, folks, like.
And I'll tell you, what's funny? I'll tell you, dude. Dan Smots put that video out, right? And I've gotten video work done by Dan and quoted on a lot of his stuff. He probably would have given him that video for like $2,000, $2,500 maybe, and then they would have had, $27,000 for ads to run this as an ad, right. Dude. And that video is so powerful. And I'm not just saying that because I make a cameo in there, okay? I'm not. Right. I mean, it was cool that I popped up in there. I was like, "Oh shit, that's me!" All right, because I was one of the first to put out a video on this shit of all the people. You know what I mean? Like of all the. I mean, we've all talked about it on our podcast, but I was the first one that was like, "I'm gonna make a fucking video dedicated to this mandate." You know what I mean? Like I was one of the first ones to do it, and I put that. I was down here in my basement, right? And it was I just got done with the podcast. I didn't have to work tomorrow. It was like 10 o'clock at night, right? And I had my whiskey here, my nefarious. Bourbon made right down the street here in Clive, Iowa. I'm gonna go see if they'll sponsor me. They're really, it's really good, dude. And I had a couple of drinks of that. I smoked a little bit, and I was like, I got this green screen and this lighting here. I set up my camera on the tripod real quick. I sat down in front of it, and I just fucking ranted, dude. Ranted, right?
I love it.
And then I hooked it up to my computer. I opened Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere Plus. I dropped those links, all that shit in there. I changed the background, put my Break the Cycle thing up, and did some cutting, added some music, and I had that thing out that night. That fucking night. I literally did it that night. It was like 3 a.m., and I put it out and went to bed. You know what I mean?
I love it. I mean, this is what we need. We need people that are actually passionate, not this bullshit like faux concern. Like I want I want people that feel this in their core. And that's why you and I vibe. That's why we've also gained in popularity, is because like people understand this is not performative. Like I fucking am seriously concerned about what's happening in the world right now. And I'm like, I'm not doing this to get famous or something stupid like that. I'm like, I'm doing this to live. I want to survive. So, I think people understand that that's the place that we come from. And I hope that, the takeover is swift, because we literally do not have any time to delay.
Yeah, it's over, man. It's all over, brother. Well,
I know, but it needs to be faster.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. And the LP didn't get it done, and it's unfortunate. It's because of the leadership. That they got shit leadership, and I'm saying that as a leader of the Libertarian Party, we have shit leadership.
I know.
We have shit leadership. We have people who are totally. The problem with a lot of the people on the national board are they're completely removed from the reality of a lot of this. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not. Most of them are not in my position. They're not in your position. They're not fighting this shit because they don't really feel it. You know what I mean? The people that are from California on there are pretty good. Jeff Hewitt was pretty good about this shit. He's a city yes. He's a fucking county supervisor in Riverside, and he fought this shit. He fought it in Riverside County for as long as he could. Then he got overpowered by the rest of the county supervisors, and that shit happens. But Whitney Bilyeu and them, they got lots of money. They live in a nice part of Texas. They don't deal with this shit. Joe Bishop Henchman, he's got a lot of money. He lived in Washington D.C. in some nice apartment with his husband and fucking and they don't feel the shit and they don't care. They want to appease the D.C. elite, dude. That's why we call them regime libertarians, because they want to appease the D.C. elite. They think if they can appease the D.C. elite while being just barely enough libertarian, that they can get into good graces with these people. They'll welcome into their circles. They'll invite them to the luncheons and all this shit. And it's like, dude, we're libertarians. They fucking hate us. They went on national television and declared us domestic terrorists, dude, for wanting to live peacefully without being bothered.
The former director of the CIA said it.
Yeah.
Do you understand how serious this is? I mean, this is not a joke. It's not an empty threat. This is actually what they're doing. If you want to go have cocktails with these people, you aren't my friend.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to wish the fucking ex-director of the CIA or the FBI or any of the alphabet agencies, I don't want to wish them luck. You know what I mean? I don't want to be nice to them. I don't want to hang out with them and have lunch and talk about their families. I want them to leave me the fuck alone.
Exactly.
Completely. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with my family. My family, we have educational time at home. My son likes to play video games. We're going on vacation. This is the kind of shit that families do. We don't need regulation on our fucking lives, dude.
Yeah, if you want to have a cocktail party with these folks, I'm open to it, but it's going to have to start with Molotov before we start talking about the cocktail.
Jesus, dude. There goes the monetization on this one. I've never been able to monetize an episode with Clint, by the way. And this is the third or fourth time he's been on the show. So
it's a joke. It's a joke. YouTube censors.
He meant in Minecraft. Okay, he wants to play him he wants to play these people in a serious competitive round of Minecraft. Okay,
correct.
Yeah,
or NBA Jam, whatever.
Yeah, NBA. Let's go, Brandon. Sorry, I've been dropping that ticker across the show. This is the first time I've really done it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start saying it a lot. All right, brother. Well, we're getting to the end of the public stream, my friend. What do you got coming up? What's going on? What are you doing next?
Well, last night, but it'll be a week ago by the time this comes out, I had on David Limbrick, who's the basically a libertarian politician in Victoria, Australia, the Melbourne area.
Nice.
That was a unbelievable episode. The on the ground, explanation for what's transpired there is truly eye-opening and horrifying. So make sure you check that one out. On Monday, I have Adam Curry, the Podfather, the host of No Agenda podcast, the greatest podcast in the universe. He is one of my heroes. He's also the creator of RSS feeds and the concept of podcasting. So that's going to be amazing. Then the next day, Julia Song, then Josh Denny, then Ian Carlson from Timcast fame, then Jessica Bond, Matt Kibbe, Zuby, Luis J. Gomez, Sour Patch Lids, Eric July, and did I mention Rubin Report? Dave Rubin will be on. So
damn, dude. You're fucking killing it, dog.
It is the month to end all months. I don't even know why all these people said yes, but God bless them.
This is coming in on Thursday. This show will be on Thursday. So that means when I get back on Tuesday, I believe, I will have I don't know. I don't have my whole show lined up yet, but that week I'll have Jody Plauché on, who's the son of Gary Plauché, who is the man who famously left the payphone to shoot his child's molester in the head in front of.
Wow.
So I'll have Jody, the son from that. He wrote a book called Why Gary Why, and he's going to come on and talk about his book, his dad, that whole incident, all that stuff. It's going to be really fun. He's also an advocate for survivors of abuse. This is going to be a really cool show. I'm very excited for that. But also, the same day that I'm recording that show, because I think that show is going to be recorded, the same day that I'm recording that show, I will have Andrew Bogut on the live show that evening. So
you son of a bitch.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. I'm a Warriors fan, dog. You know what I mean? So I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing, man. I was like, listen, dude, I'm a huge Warriors fan. I love you to death. I'd love to have you come on. No, I got a hold of his agent, and we set it up, and he's going to come on and talk about tyranny in Australia as well. But he's also going to talk about how a lot of these famous people have been paid to push this political agenda.
Yes.
And he's going to talk. I'm sure he'll talk about winning NBA finals. You know what I mean? That'll be fun.
That is so cool. I'm so happy for you, man. I will not miss that one for sure.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that will be an early show at 5:00 on Tuesday, I believe. I'm not sure. I'll look at the schedule. I'll get it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked to have Bogut. And that Jody Plauché, I mean, that's the one for me, dude, because
both of those are incredible. I mean, that's awesome.
Gary is my hero. He passed away in 2014, but I've watched that clip. I don't like watching people die, but that clip is so satisfying. So amazingly satisfying. And God bless the news cameraman who, instead of running from the gunshots, kept the camera rolling and zoomed in on the dead man's face. I loved that. Thank you very much. That made it really, really, really perfect for me. But Clint, where can the people find you, listen to you, support you, all that great stuff?
Well, I just started a locals page. So if you go to libertylockdown.locals.com, you can become a subscriber and a supporter of the show. Also at Liberty Lock Pod on Twitter, where you can get all of my regular rants. That's the most active social media profile I have. Liberty Lockdown on Instagram, and then Liberty Lockdown on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else. Make sure you subscribe, because this next month is going to be enormous.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm a huge fan of yours. I love you to death, brother. I'm glad that we've become friends. I can't wait to see, as this airs, I'll see you in 2 days, man.
Beautiful. 48 hours to lovin'. Let's do it.
Exactly, brother. Well, thanks again for coming on Break the Cycle, dude. You rule.
Absolutely. You too.
All right, guys, another awesome episode of Break the Cycle. Clint's so cool. Go follow him. Listen to his podcast. He's got amazing guests. I mean, that lineup is solid. Go check them out. He's even going to have Ruben on, man. He's smoking me. We came up at the same time, and he's smoking me. Now, I think he started quite a bit before me, so I'm happy for his success, and definitely go check him out. Also, check out our sponsors, of course, toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle, where you can get this great dark camo, custom sundowning Break the Hoodie shirt that I'm wearing today at a 10% discount by using BTC at checkout. Or you can join the Patreon, subscribe star, become a member of this here YouTube channel under all of my videos by clicking the join link and paying $6 a month, where you can get into the private Discord server and get all of his new gear up to 2 weeks early, up to 30% discount. So really, really great stuff. Definitely worth it. And you're supporting my show and my 7 kids, which is, I really appreciate you guys. And all the people that do financially support already. You rule. Seriously, I couldn't do so much without you. And of course, executive producer of the show, anthemplanning.com, for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today. See what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. They're doing a wonderful job that the government has historically sucked at much cheaper. Seriously, guys, if you're thinking about starting a business, if you own a business, if you do anything that's business-like, go check out anthemplanning.com right now. Right now. Right after the show ends, check them out. I guarantee you, Amy Lepore can do something for your show. Check them out, or for your job or your business or whatever it is. It's mine. For me, it's a show. Okay, check them out. It's worth it. I promise you guys. I don't know what's coming up on the show because I'm recording 7 episodes this weekend. So you guys still have content while I'm in Disney World with my fam. So that's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully I'm in the chat hanging out with you guys and not being an asshole and totally giving you the cold shoulder, because I love my community. I love you guys who come into the live chat day in and day out to watch shows. You really make this all worth it for me. So thank you very much. But I'll see you tomorrow night for the show with somebody awesome. I believe it's Drew Hancock. I think Drew Hancock's tomorrow. But I'll see you then. Until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. A chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. You're nothing I mean, you know it. No product theaters cause it closed from COVID. Holy shit, I think I'll